Hello, I'm Charlotte and this is Books and Bargains. Today I'm coming to you to talk about my low buy year that I'm currently on. I'm filming this at the very end of July, so I'm already a month in and there are some things I've learned and I've kind of tweaked it during this month. So I'm actually glad to be doing this video now, so I know for the next kind of 11 months what my priorities are, how I'm going to go forward with this one and how I'm going to update you guys on it. So yeah, let's dive right in. So first of all, I'm calling this a low buy year rather than a low spend year. You might say that's just semantics, but in my head, the main purpose of this year, I think I've said already, I'm not in any debt. I am trying to save a nice big emergency fund and also trying to save to buy a house eventually. But at the same time, I don't want to shut myself away and refuse to spend money on things that make me happy. So this year is more about trying to find that balance. I'm also calling it a low buy year because I really want to be conscious of the things that I bring into my house and into my home. We're not going to live in this bungalow forever. This is just a temporary while I'm caring for Nana solution. We do hope to buy our own house one day and we hope to live somewhere a bit better connected. The transport links here aren't perfect. I don't drive. I don't intend to drive. I am very much happy to rely on public transport, which is why we want to move somewhere with better connections. We want to move somewhere possibly with a tram line. And yeah, so there are a few whys to this low buy year, and they tend to be as follows. So number one is that I want to reduce my TBR. As you can see, I have a big TBR behind me and I want to reduce it. It is as simple as that. I am on a book buying ban with a few exceptions. So there are pre-orders that I have already made that I will continue to be pre-ordering. I can accept physical ARCs to review, as that is one of the perks of being on BookTube. And also there are a few kind of special books that I want to collect. There are a few Folio Society books that I want. I would like the sprayed edges version of the Shadow Cabinet. I meant to say Her Majesty's Royal Coven here. I already have the sprayed edges edition of the Shadow Cabinet. Brain fog. So if I was to see any of these in a good deal or in a charity shop, for example, or just in a bookshop, I am allowed to spend, I give myself a little bit of money each week into a pot that is specifically for those things, so that if I see them, I could buy them. But I can't kind of just go, any book is special, because yeah. So my income currently comes from caring for Nana, and that could come to an end abruptly. I know that some people find this hard to talk about, but I am looking after a 97.5-year-old. My whole income at the moment, I'm in that place at the moment where my health is as such that I wouldn't be able to work. So eventually I hope to go back to work, but at the moment, until things are sorted, it just wouldn't be feasible. There are a few jobs that I could maybe do, but I would need to have access to a toilet at a moment's notice, and in a lot of jobs that wouldn't be easy, put it that way. And so I know that at any moment I could go from having an admittedly small income that comes from my carer's allowance and her attendance allowance, but also Nana contributes with her pension to bills and things, so that could all stop and we could just be living on Tom's income, which I am very fortunately in the position that with Tom's income we would have to cut down a lot. You know, weekends away, meals out, things like that would be a no-no, but we could still survive and stay living here. which gives me I'm so grateful to be in that position when I know a lot of people aren't. And that's where we are right now. I want to stop mindless spending and put thought into what I purchase. One of the books that I've been reading, I've read a lot of books on minimalism and fast fashion and consumerism recently. Let me know if you would like a video all about those books that I've read. I'll happily do that for you. But I can't remember which book it was in, but it was saying about anything that you bring into your life, think of it that you are now responsible for that item. So, for example, if I go to somewhere and they're giving away free mugs, I am then responsible for that mug till the end of time. I'm responsible for the recycling of it if I no longer want it. I'm responsible for making sure that it goes to a good home. So I'm really trying to be conscious of things that I accept and bring in, which also goes on to sort of charity shop purchases. And I do feel a little bit on the fence here. I think there's a difference. So obviously I've said to you before that me and Tom get kind of the odd couple of hours out on a weekend when Nana's having her nap. And I think I've got into the habit of feeling that because we're only able to go to those places now and again rather than every weekend like we used to be able to go for a wander and pop in, that I feel almost the kind of urge to buy something, and I never really have time to try clothes on, and I've ended up buying things that I don't need or don't fit right, and then they end up just languishing in my wardrobe. So I'm trying to decide in my head, like, obviously number one is that I want to buy a lot less stuff. I am banning myself from buying things online, so Vinted, Depop are no longer, because I found a lot of times when I've bought things on Vinted, they've looked like my kind of dress. I have kind of a few dresses that I would like to get in different colours, but when they arrive, they're material that I don't like. So I want to buy things where I can physically feel them and see them for myself. But also, I struggle with charity shops. I mean, some of the bigger charity shops now that sell things for a lot more money, i.e. the British Heart Foundation, can be kind of pricey. I would feel fine taking things back, but when it's a charity shop where it's £1, £2, I do feel like the responsibility that I have there is to, if I buy something and it doesn't fit, return it and get it back out into the world, if that makes sense. I mean, not for the money back. If I've paid less than £5 for something, I'll just see that as a donation to the charity. But then again, like I say, with trying to build this emergency fund, every penny counts. So yeah, and kind of on the same vein as that, I want to heal. I've written here, I want to heal rather than just plug in the gap with buying things. And this comes down to a lot of stuff like when I'm feeling low about my body, I will buy new things and new clothes to try and pep me up rather than spending some time examining why I'm feeling that way and other things that I can do rather than just buying things. I've been better recently, but it's like at the moment the weather is interchangeable here, let's just say it this way. This dress that I've got on today I absolutely love for kind of seaside holidays, but at the moment I can't wear it because of where the straps go. I don't feel like I can wear a jacket with it. But it's been so raining 1 minute. I mean, it's meant to be summer. It looks like autumn out there, which I'm not complaining about because I do love autumn, but you know. And because I'm having a lot of problems with bloating, I don't want anything tight on my belly. And I found when wearing some of my dresses, if the straps keep falling down, that annoys me. I feel like a lot of people aren't conscious of these things, but I am so conscious with how things feel. If I'm too aware of my clothes that I'm in, I'm just not comfy for the day. So I am trying to, this is going off on a tangent, but on my rail over there. Any clothes that I've worn, I'm putting this side, and then you've got all of Tom's clothes in the middle, and then my unworn clothes that side, just so that I can see what I am picking up regularly. So another reason that I want to do this is I want to see how little that I could actually live on, so in the future I can balance my health with a part-time job. I want to really examine what I have that are, we kind of have two kind of columns of essentials. So essential one are like bills, things that I have to have. You know, we have to pay rent, we have to pay gas and electricity, we have to pay council tax, all of those things. And then I'm kind of trying to do a second, not essential, but enhance my life. So things like I have just paid for a year's Scribd subscription, which I was going to cancel Scribd, but actually reading is something that is so important to me and so important to my mental health. And with my physical health, physical books are only an option for me about 50% of the time at the moment, whereas ebooks, audiobooks rather, I can listen to all the time unless I've got a really bad migraine. So that again is something that works out about £9 a month, which is not essential. That could be cut from my budget if we had to, but I would like to continue that. So I just want to see kind of how much I could live off. And yeah, I think I said in one of my vlogs when I was talking about this, I get my carer's allowance weekly, and I would often give myself, I think, around £25 a week as my personal spending money. And I don't know where that was going. It would be the odd something that I'd seen on Amazon or something that I'd seen on Instagram. And over the course of a year, that's a lot of money that just vanishes really without really knowing why. And kind of still on, I mean, I've kind of gone into this, but like I want to examine my shopping habits with fashion and beauty, etc. I very, very rarely wear makeup now. I do paint my nails. I've got Barbie pink at the moment, but I have loads of nail varnish, and I tended to get into the habit of just buying another skincare item or another hair care item. Usually, I mean, I don't spend a lot of money on these things, but spending £4 on a shampoo when I've got 5 half bottles of shampoo at home seemed to be a really silly thing to be spending my money on, and so I want to stop that. Now, when I've attempted these kinds of things before, I have got a couple of months in and then given up. And I think a lot of that was to do with my all or nothing mentality, which is why instead of going for a no buy year, I'm calling this a low buy year. So I can still treat myself to things, but instead of it being just like, oh, I've had a rough day, treat yourself, it's more things like, I saw the Barbie movie with Stacey. Stacey very kindly took me to see that for my birthday, and I really enjoyed it. And then in a couple of weeks' time, I've got a scan at the hospital where I have a 3-hour gap between scan 1 and scan 2, where I'm allowed to leave the hospital and come back. So I'm tempted to take myself to the cinema again. I'm not allowed to eat or drink during that 3 hours, so I won't be tempted into snacks and drinks at the cinema. I also like to go out for meals, and we like the odd takeaway. Now again, these are things that are going to go down in my budget planner, which I'll show you in a little while, as non-essentials but we like, so that can be included in the kind of money that we need each month. There are some things that I am allowed, and I'm allowed to buy presents for others, but again, I am being more mindful in what I buy people. I'm going to try where possible to not contribute to buying kind of single-use plastics for people. I am going to try and source birthday presents second-hand. I'm going to try and buy people experiences, so where possible take my friends out for a meal or something rather than just buying them something, unless it's something. I think there's a difference between seeing something that you know someone will really love and buying something just for the sake of having something to give them. So that's something that I'm going to look into. We are allowed planned takeaways and food out, but like last night I was really proud of myself because I was really tired, didn't want to cook, and we were meant to have a roast dinner, and old me would go, let's just have a takeaway, whereas I went, I tell you what, Monday's dinner is an easy throw it in a pan, cook it through dinner, we'll swap and do it the other way round, which is something that I would never have done before. And having a few meals in the freezer is also helping me on the days that I'm not feeling well to be able to hand over the reins to Tom. But that said, like I say, we are allowed planned takeaways and meals out. We did go to Derby this month, no expenses spared there. I say that, we have a holidays pot that I can take from for things like that. I'm allowed to buy toiletries, but only when I'm running out. I think I found that I have 6 deodorants. So actually the only toiletry that we had to buy in July was a tube of toothpaste. And I'm astounded by that we have enough in our life that all we had to buy in July was a tube of toothpaste. I am allowed to buy things, and I'm putting together a thrift list of clothes that I'm actually looking for. So at the moment, 2 things that have been on there for a long time, 3 really actually. 1, I want a really nice pair of cowboy boots. 2, I would like a really good padded winter coat. And 3, I would like a really nice like faux fur, but in a, I saw one once in like a teal green colour. But I have to try these things on and they must be perfect. I can't just buy them because I'm like, oh my God, that's a really good offer. I'm also trying to, in my dresses that I'm wearing at the moment, in my head, some are green dresses in that, yes, love them, will wear them all the time, couldn't even contemplate getting rid of them. Some are red, which go straight into a bag to go to the charity shop. And some are amber in that I like them. They fit the purpose at the moment, but I could happily replace them with a better dress. And this is where trying things on will really come into it. I think Aja Barber said in her book Consumed, which was fantastic, that don't go clothes shopping when you feel a mess. Go in your like favourite outfit, and then the clothes are almost auditioning and have to live up to what you're wearing, because if you put on an outfit and you don't feel as good as the outfit that you walked in, you don't need it in your wardrobe. So the thrift list will be ever changing, but I think at the moment the one thing that I do want and I've been looking out for are a few more summery-ish dresses that are thin fabric because it's warm, but I also can put a jacket over because it rains. And the other thing is holidays and trips away. Now, again, I recognise that I am really lucky to still be able to afford these things. And at the moment, I'm going away to Spain in October with my brother and my husband. Mum and Dad are looking after Nana. I would like for me and Tom to go away for the weekend for our wedding anniversary in March. And we would also like to take Nana in a caravan holiday kind of May time next year. So I have all of those things as pots on my Monzo, and I'm just saving up. And it helps me better to save when I have this money in pots. So I have those. I have a pot because I want to try out Nerva for my IBS and potentially a dietitian. So I have a pot for that. I then have a rainy day fund, which is emergencies where we need the money straight away. And then I have other pots where money is locked away and takes kind of 24 hours, 48 hours to reach my account, so that I can't just dip into that. So those are the whys and why nots and things like that. This is what I've been doing to track. I'd got this monthly planner from, I think it's Emily Harvey Art, which I will link below, and I hadn't used it. So I've literally just been putting everything that I spend on there, And as of, I mean, like I say, it's the 31st of July today, and I've worked out that 10% of my days were no spend, 10% of my days were holiday spend, so that's Derby, so that was a bit spendy, but it had come from a pot and it was budgeted for. On 32% of the days I had a unplanned spend. Ernie went to the vets, Tom's car key broke, I went to hospital, the freezer broke. It has just been one of those months. However, there is some real comfort in knowing that all those things were paid for from a pot for emergency funds for that purpose. And then 48% of my days this month were things were spent, but everything that was spent on that day was a planned expense, such as groceries, bills, things like that. I have also been keeping a list, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, of all the physical things that have come into my life this month. And I'm not going to do a monthly go through of these, but if you want to see it, I'll probably do it every 3 months. So it would be kind of July, August and September wrap up of spending. Things I've learned, things that went well, things that didn't go so well. But yeah, I feel already like I look at this list of physical things that came in July, and actually my parents came back from holiday and bought me some presents, and my friends very kindly bought me birthday presents. So the things that I'm writing on these physical things are things that I am then responsible for. So, for example, I had chocolate bought for me, that doesn't get counted because that will be something that is eaten and then the packaging recycled, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Let me know below if it doesn't. I'm kind of winging it. I'm always winging it. But yes, I'm going to stop rambling now because I feel like I've rambled in this video for too long. But that is my introduction to my low buy year. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like below and a comment. If you can't think of anything that you want to say, leave me your favourite money related emoji. And until next time, look after yourselves. Bye.